Hello, good morning. Welcome to Good Morning Glendale. My name is Robert Heidt, President and CEO of the Glendale Chamber of Commerce. And today I have the honor to be with Heather Shelbrack from Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. Welcome, Heather. How are you today?
I'm great. Thanks for inviting me, Robert.
Well, welcome. First and foremost, why don't you start off and tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do related to the airport?
Sure. So I am the Public Information Manager at the City of Phoenix Aviation Department, which oversees Phoenix Sky Harbor, Phoenix Goodyear Airport, and Phoenix Deer Valley Airport. And my team and I are responsible for handling media inquiries, updating website content, printed material, putting that together like the airport guides, as well as video production, and then managing our 7 social media sites.
It sounds like you have a lot going on.
Yeah.
So, a couple of things that I will say is one, I had the honor and privilege really to go through the Aviation Academy
Mhm.
about, I'm going to say almost 2 years ago now. COVID's kind of been that blur, that pause year that none of us really want to
Yes.
remember in some way. But with that said, that gave me a real eye opener into everything in the operations because truly having what we have, and I know you have the other facilities you work with, but having the airport there, it's a city within a city, essentially.
It really is, yes.
And the construction and the development and the enhancements that have been made over the last couple of years and that are continuing are just amazing in the sense that it's only going to continue to add value and vitality for our region and having probably one of the most dynamic airports in the nation. I know you all win a lot of recognitions and awards and things like that, so congratulations on those. What would you say with the COVID, the way the pandemic has hit us, to how things are, how have operations changed in the airport of what we knew versus what it looks like today?
Well, with COVID, of course, we've seen a passenger decrease. Last year, we're down a little more than 52% compared to 2019. And in 2019, we had record passenger numbers. We had nearly 46.3 million people come through the airport. Last year, with COVID, our passenger numbers did decline, but we're still continuing with our major construction projects, the Phoenix SkyTrain extension, as well as adding a brand new 8-gate concourse at Terminal 4.
That's exciting. It's one of those things to, I think for the average person to understand the magnitude of that number of travelers. And that's where, again, I learned that it is a city within a city because everything has to get coordinated into, what you do. And we benefit as a community, as commerce, as travelers, everything that you're doing and the reinvestment really does make a big difference for us. What would you say will be the major changes that we see as business travelers or leisure travelers now that COVID has been with us about a year? What would you say people are going to see differently if they haven't traveled through the pandemic? When they do get back to the airport, what does that look like for us anymore?
Sure. So if you haven't traveled in a while, we recommend you visit skyharbor.com, and there's a COVID-19 page where you can watch a video of what exactly it's like from when you park to when you board the aircraft. But if you haven't been to the airport in a while, you'll notice that masks are required. We've required masks since June, but there's a new federal mask mandate, which means that you have to wear a mask in all airport facilities. We've installed plexiglass throughout the airport, at airport ticket counters, as well as at TSA security checkpoints. We're encouraging physical distancing. We have little dots on the ground, which kind of tell you where to stand. We have overhead announcements reminding travelers to practice distancing and to wear their mask. And many of our concessionaires have touchless payments or menus that you read on a QR code. And then, of course, our facilities team has maintained a robust 24-hour cleaning schedule to keep our facilities safe. And then over the summer, we added UVC LED lights to escalators in terminals 3 and 4. And this sanitizes 99.9% of the handrails on a 24-hour basis, and just helps our cleaning staff keep those high-touch areas much cleaner for travelers.
Wow. Well, I think we've all had to learn how to really redefine that consumer confidence to let people know
Mhm.
what we're doing in the wake of this pandemic and make the environment safe. And so I think at the airport, you all are no different. You're certainly probably a leader for what I've been able to hear and see and ascertain through the airport world of airports around. So thank you, because you're making it easier for business and travel to continue onward in that sense. What would you say? Now, the one thing is you've done a lot of redevelopment. There's, been enhancements and constructions. What would you say are some unique things? Because there was a lot of stuff happening. COVID hit, the world seemed to stop. As people get back to traveling, they may not have been to the airport since you've done some of the finalize of the construction. What would be some of the unique things that people will get to see when they do get back to traveling on a more frequent basis that is at the airport or that you've added in as part of the redevelopment and construction?
Sure. So early last year, we opened up the North Concourse at Terminal 3, and we completed the modernization of Terminal 3. So for travelers who haven't been to the airport in a while, or maybe they haven't been to Terminal 3 in a while, they will notice a completely different terminal. There's beautiful views of the mountains, of downtown Phoenix, new shops, new restaurants. There's a Delta Sky Club, a children's play area, animal relief areas, nursing rooms, you name it. We have all sorts of amenities, access to charging stations in nearly every seat. We also have other amenities. In Terminal 4, we now have what's called a compassion corner, which features an airport chapel as well as a sensory room for those who need to go into a sensory room. There's some bubble tubes on the walls. It's just a quiet place for children and their families. And we have a Cactus Compassion lanyard program. So if you are a traveler who identifies with needing a little extra time, you can request a free lanyard, and that'll alert staff that you need some extra time or maybe some extra assistance as you're coming through the airport. And then, of course, in Terminal 4 last year, the Escape Club opened, and that's a lounge where you can fly any airline, you can buy a day pass, and then of course the American Express Centurion Lounge opened as well. And then we have many other amenities from animal relief areas to great shops, great restaurants, and then our reservation parking program as well. So you can sign up for that. And if you're not ready to travel right now, you can still get the emails. And when you are ready to travel, learn about how to earn points to get free parking.
It's amazing to see all the things that have gone into making the experience the best it can be, because everyone has different needs, comfort levels. Everybody has different kind of expectations of what it looks like to travel anymore, and they have different, whether they're traveling with, mom or dad who might be a little bit elderly, or the kids, or whatever it may be. So I think that no stone has been left unturned there at the airport, and the convenience and the sophistication that you all put in place to make our world easier as we're traveling. One thing that, and you all are amazing on social media, so we love to see that. We follow and we share out, and I know that we like a lot of stuff. One of the ones that was done the other day, and it took me back, was you focused and shared, it was some of the flight attendant outfits over the years.
Yes.
And I just loved it because I caught my eye, so I clicked and I opened it, and I looked through and I was like, it really did, because when you think of the evolution, at least when I was a kid, I remember flying by myself one time, and it was, everybody was dressed. Everybody, and not that they're not dressed today. They are dressed, but it's different. Sometimes we're in shorts or khakis or do whatever, but it was just such a different era, the way air travel has transformed and changed over the years. So I like that you've taken that history and brought it to life in very vibrant ways throughout the airport and with all your other art and scenery, because again, it really brings to life more than just I go in, because sometimes it's a daunting experience. With travel, people are like, okay, I got to go in. It's a hustle bustle. I got to get my bags. I got to figure out where I'm going. There's a lot of people who may not be familiar. So they don't quite know. So you all have done a great deal to really make it the best experience that it can possibly be for anyone who travels in and out of Sky Harbor.
Thank you.
We love to see.
And we're very excited about the Style in the Aisle art exhibition that features the flight attendant uniforms, as well as like airline amenity kits from the 60s and 70s. As you mentioned, travel was a lot different back then, and it's really unique to see, how that experience was. Even like reading like the first class menu options is pretty unique. And we have art exhibitions throughout the airport. Not just that one, we have a pop-up exhibition about the old airport chapel that we had back in the day, where we would have people that would fly in to get married. And so there's an exhibition on that with an old chapel bell. And then we also have an exhibition celebrating Black aviators for Black History Month.
Wow, that's amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Like I said, I mean, in the years I've been here at the Chamber and having gone through the Aviation Academy and gotten to know some of your folks, I'm just always amazed. And I guess I shouldn't be anymore, because you all continue to raise the bar every day. Every time I see something new, it's always something creative and innovative down there to make our airport truly the best, for our region and our state. So we're very, very fortunate for you and the many, many others that make that happen every day for us. What would you say in terms, air travel has changed, over the years. What would you say are, in working with your different airline partners, is the pulse on, whether it's adding new routes, frequency, things like that? Have you been able to gauge what it's going to look like as we come out of the pandemic and working with the different airline carriers there at the airport?
Well, we're always looking to add new destinations. We know that the community wants new destinations, especially new international destinations. And of course, with COVID, that's made the air travel industry a little bit more challenging, but we have some bright spots. We've added new routes to new locations that we previously didn't have service to, and airlines have added new routes. So last October, Southwest Airlines added nonstop service to Los Cabos and Puerto Vallarta, and that was their first international service from Phoenix. And they're also adding nonstop service to Cancun in March. American has added new service to La Paz, Mexico, and Laredo, Mexico, as well as an additional route to Culiacan.
Wow.
And Calgary in Canada. And then, of course, Frontier and Spirit and American and Southwest have added new routes to a variety of destinations, from Billings, Montana to Colorado Springs, Chicago, Orlando. There's really been a lot of new routes that have been added. And of course, our air service development manager is always working with airlines to add more as business demands warrants it.
Well, it's definitely become the go-to place. I mean, we certainly, and not that every airport is the same, but for us, I think that we're very fortunate to have such a active, robust, airport officials working on our behalf, and then the airline partners that really are looking at the destinations for our travelers, whether they're coming here or going out, to other places. So, we appreciate that. I can tell you from the business community side and from the leisure travel side, we certainly appreciate that, that's always on the forefront.
That's great to hear.
Is there anything else that you would like to share with any of our members or the community at large? We take great pride in our partnership with you all and Jason there at the airport. We try to keep a feature in our Glendale Living magazine each quarter that we produce it, because we really want to tell the story. I hope that you feel that we're your gateway into Glendale and the West Valley. We love to,
yes.
You need people to honk your horn and tell your story, and there's many great things. The email, as you suggested, is a great way for people to sign up and get information, and I monitor that and get that as well. But anything that we can share out that we didn't talk about today that you want to make sure that we highlight a little bit?
No, I'll bring up the newsletter again, our Phoenix check-in newsletter. That's published once a month. Subscribe on our website, and it keeps the community, travelers, employees, anyone who wants to read it up to date with what's going on at the airport. And then, of course, our social media channels, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. Travelers can keep up to date there with everything that's happening at the airport. If you like construction posts, we're always posting pictures at least once a week on either the Phoenix SkyTrain Stage 2 extension or our 8-gate construction project at Terminal 4. So it's just a great way to keep up with the news at the airport.
I like it. It helps me to keep in the know. Well, I know a few of you folks that, which is nice when we don't get to see each other as often, obviously, with COVID and Zoom, but it is a great way for folks to understand and know, and people to become more informed in that sense. I can't say enough great about the airport. I mean, truly, I think that we're very, very fortunate, and it's kind of a hidden secret because everyone doesn't really know the magnitude and impact, because there's a huge economic impact that the airport creates in our economy. We're going to have 23 Super Bowl here in Glendale, so we expect to see lots of travelers. I know they'll use some of the outer line airports as well for those private planes and things like that. And something I can comment on is when I went through the Aviation Academy, and again, it really gives you a bird's eye view behind the curtain to see. I have to commend you all on the level of sophistication related to safety and security to keep not only the employees at the airport, but the travelers well protected. I was amazed at that process. And then the contingency plans in the event that anything was to happen. It's amazing the foresight that you all have had into thinking through literally everything. Because again, I know I said it, I think once or twice, but you all are a city operating 24/7 inside of one of the largest cities in the United States. So it doesn't surprise me. And I think the coolest feature, and I know that everyone does, but to be able to go up in the tower and to see the action of what goes on, it's just amazing. You all have a stellar staff, some of the best in the aviation industry on staff here at our airport. So, on behalf of the Glendale Chamber of Commerce, we're here to be a good partner to you. We thank you for everything that you're doing. If there's anything that we can help disseminate out to our member base and our communities that we serve, let us know. We're here to be your partner and make sure that it's successful, that the airport is successful, and that helps to translate into commerce and vitality for our life and good way of life. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and thank you for your partnership as well.
Well, with that, we could probably go on all day and ask you to show us some slides of things that no one gets to see, but we know that you're super duper busy down there. Heather, thank you. Again, we really do appreciate our partnership. And for all those that are watching this, I hope that the next time you go to the airport, you take just a few minutes to take in all the things and enhancements that Heather mentioned. Whether or not they're services or features that you use, just know that they've taken those advances in mind for those travelers to make that experience more. So I know sometimes I find myself pausing for a moment, and I hope you will too. So again, Heather, thank you very much. Thank you to Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport for all you're doing for our region and our economy. And with that, we hope everyone has a great day, and we'll see you next time on Good Morning Glendale.
Thank you.